Okay, so have you ever been in that situation, like that really universal one? You see someone interesting, maybe across the room. Could be anyone, a potential client, maybe just someone who looks fascinating. And the second you think, okay, I should go talk to them, suddenly, bam, your brain just shorts out. You stop thinking about what you actually want to say.
Yeah.
And instead, you're scrambling for that, that one perfect, witty line, the one that's supposed to make you sound instantly impressive.
Oh, definitely. It's that conversational chokehold, right? And it comes from this fear of looking, anything less than brilliant. It's this pressure we put on ourselves.
Totally.
And honestly, it stops so many potentially great connections dead in their tracks before they even get a chance to stick.
Oh. Well, that's exactly what we're tackling today. We're getting rid of that pressure. We're doing a deep dive into the source material, all about mastering confident, impactful conversation.
Right.
And what jumped out immediately is that really talking to people, it isn't just some basic social skill. The sources frame it as a genuine power, something that if you use it authentically can actually change your life, professionally and personally.
And the great thing about this material is how practical it is. It's not just theory. It's like a clear playbook, really. We're going to unpack, I think, 5 core strategies.
Yeah, 5 key things.
5 core strategies for starting conversations, keeping them going genuinely, and making sure they actually stick, that they leave a real impression.
Okay.
And the first step, maybe the most crucial one, is just dealing with that initial hurdle, that fear.
Right, let's dive into that first then, overcoming that barrier. So that fear, it's usually not about giving a speech to a huge crowd. It's more specific, isn't it? That one-on-one anxiety, that feeling of being judged.
Exactly.
Your internal monologue is just going nuts. What if I sound stupid? Or what if I say the wrong thing and they just walk away? I remember this one time at a networking thing. I tried to tell this complex joke, thought it'd be clever, and I completely botched the punchline. Just silence.
Awkward.
Totally deafening. And my big takeaway was, right, never try to be funny in public again, which is terrible.
That's it, though. That's the feeling of chasing perfection.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the sources pinpoint is the number one blocker.
Yeah.
We treat conversations like they're a performance, like a high-stakes audition.
Yeah, like you need a perfect script.
Right. And psychologically, it comes down to wanting control. We think if we can control our words perfectly, we can control how the other person reacts, whether they approve of us.
But trying to be perfect is actually what makes the conversation feel so stiff and unnatural. It kills it.
Absolutely kills it.
Yeah.
And think about what that stiffness even signals subconsciously. When you're aiming for perfect, you actually create distance. You make the other person feel like they need to perform too.
Yeah, I can see that.
So the big insight here, the way to neutralize that fear, is realizing people aren't actually looking for the perfect person. They're looking for the genuine person.
Okay.
A little bit of vulnerability, just showing up as yourself with real curiosity.
Yeah.
That's incredibly disarming.
That does shift things, doesn't it? If I just focus on being authentic, suddenly the pressure drops because, I can't really fail at just being me.
Precisely. So the first big action step is just let go of that internal pressure cooker, ditch the quest for perfection, focus everything 100% on building connection.
Connection, not perfection.
Yeah. If your goal is simply to honestly engage, to understand the other person, then that fear of saying something wrong just kind of melts away, because being honest in this context is always the right approach.
Okay, so we've dealt with the initial freeze up, but once the conversation starts, how do we stop ourselves from just, rambling on, or, and I know I do this, just waiting for a gap so I can talk?
The waiting game, yes.
That's where the source material introduces something kind of counterintuitive, right? The power of silence, or rather listening. It says, if you want someone to actually connect with you, you need to be a really good listener first.
It completely flips the script on what we think conversational power is. Most people think it's about being charismatic, loud, dominating the conversation.
Right, holding the floor.
But the sources argue that real power lies in receptivity, in listening well. And the reason listening sticks with people more than talking is pretty simple, actually.
Why is that?
People might forget the person who just talked at them for 10 minutes, but they remember the person who made them feel genuinely heard, validated, listened to carefully.
Okay, I buy the principle. But here's where I sometimes struggle. If I'm just listening and nodding the whole time, how do I make sure my personality or, my own ideas come across? Don't I risk just fading into the background, being seen as passive?
That's a really great point. And it's the difference between just passively hearing someone and actively listening. Active listening isn't passive at all. It's a dynamic thing. It's about validating them.
Dynamic? How so?
You're not just waiting. You're sort of managing the flow to keep the spotlight on them, making them feel comfortable sharing. Think of it like being the conductor of the conversation, not just another instrument playing a solo.
Okay, conductor, I like that. So practically, how do we show we're listening intently without, constantly interrupting or just staring blankly? Because the blank stare is awkward too.
Right, no staring. The source material gives some very specific tips for showing interest without breaking their flow. First, the obvious one, don't cut them off mid-sentence. Basic respect.
Okay, baseline.
But more proactively, you use these small, immediate affirmations, both verbal and nonverbal.
Like what, though? What actually sounds natural, not just robotic?
Exactly. Needs to be natural.
Yeah.
So instead of just nodding silently, you weave in little phrases. Things like, that's a really interesting point, or I hear you, or even just exactly, or wow, okay.
Things that show you're processing it.
Precisely.
Right.
Or thanks for sharing that, or I see what you mean. These little signals, they don't derail the speaker's thought, but they instantly communicate, hey, I'm with you, your ideas are landing, this is a shared thing.
Right.
By validating their experience, their story, you become this positive element in their memory of the chat.
All right, fear is managed, listening skills are sharpened. Now for the big one, the Mount Everest of chatting. The launch, that very first line to a stranger, it just feels impossible sometimes.
It does feel like the highest bar, doesn't it?
Yeah. So what did the sources say? How do we actually kick things off effectively without sounding like we're using some cheesy pickup line or making some weird, awkward announcement about ourselves?
Okay, the key here is simplicity and context. We ditch the complicated self-focused stuff. The sources suggest 3 really reliable, low-pressure ways to start. And they all draw on the immediate situation, the shared environment. That takes the focus off you.
Okay, structure me up. What are the 3?
Method 1. Start with an observation. You use something in the environment or something specific, but importantly, non-personal about the shared context.
Give me an example.
So instead of just nice weather, maybe something like, if you're at an event, wow, this room has amazing acoustics, doesn't it? Or maybe, I noticed the design of this menu is really unique. Have you seen that before? Or even about something they're holding, like, that's a really interesting book cover. What's it about?
Okay. So it's external, shared, makes sense, low risk. What's number 2?
2, start with a question. Again, keep it simple, relevant to the situation. Something designed to just invite a little bit of their experience. Like, is this your first time coming to this conference? Or what are you hoping to get out of this workshop today?
So it prompts them to share immediately.
Exactly. Puts the ball in their court, lets you shift right into those active listening skills we just talked about.
Okay, and number 3 is the compliment, which we know needs to feel real.
Yes. Number 3, start with a compliment. But crucially, not just a generic, nice shoes. The sources really emphasize complimenting something specific, ideally related to effort, choice, or attitude, rather than just looks.
Like what?
For example, if someone just gave a presentation, instead of good job, try something like, I was really impressed by how clearly you explained that complex data point. That must have taken a lot of prep work.
Much better. More specific.
Way more specific, because sincerity is everything here. People have, like, built-in radar for fake compliments.
Yeah.
If it feels forced or insincere, it just backfires, destroys trust instantly.
Yeah.
So honest and specific is the key.
Okay, so the first line is the hook. Got it. But then the body language. That's like the fishing line in the reel, right? It's what actually draws people in and keeps them engaged.
Absolutely.
What we don't say often speaks volumes about whether we're actually open to connecting. So what are the nonverbal signals we absolutely need to get right to make sure our body isn't basically yelling, go away, while our mouth is saying, hello?
This is super critical because, if your words say, I'm interested, but your body screams, I'm defensive, that connection just hits a wall. We need a checklist, but maybe go a bit deeper than the usual advice.
Okay, lay it out for us. Give us the advanced tips, too.
All right. First, the absolute universal key, always smile. A genuine smile. It signals warmth, approachability, basically biological safety, makes people feel comfortable.
Simple but effective. Okay.
Second, maintain confident eye contact. Now, this isn't about staring someone down like you're in a competition. That's just aggressive.
Right. Creepy.
Yeah, definitely not creepy. It's about engagement. A good rule of thumb, often cited in the research, is the 60-40 rule. Try to hold eye contact about 60% of the time when you're listening and maybe 40% when you're speaking.
60-40. Okay, that's specific. I like that.
It shows confidence without being overly intense. You can also try the triangle technique, sometimes letting your gaze drift naturally between their eyes and their mouth area. It softens the focus.
Interesting. Okay, what about posture? Hands.
Third, keep your hands and posture open. Open palms, uncrossed arms. These signal openness, honesty, that you're not hiding anything. Crossed arms, fidgeting hands, turned away body, that all reads as defensive or close off.
So smile, eye contact, open posture, they all need to work together.
Exactly. Synergy is key. A forced smile with crossed arms just looks weird. It doesn't compute.
Right. And then there's that final detail, the one the source really highlighted for, like personalizing the connection almost subconsciously.
Oh, yes, the magic word. It's simple but powerful. Use the person's name when you're talking to them.
Why is that so effective?
Hearing our own name, it's like it activates a unique part of our brain. It validates our identity instantly. It cuts through the noise and makes the conversation feel personal, important, and crucially memorable. Honestly, it's probably the shortest path to making someone feel recognized.
Okay, so we've broken the ice. We've listened like a pro. Our body language is saying, come on in. Now, the final piece. How do we make sure people actually remember us after the chat is done? We don't want to just be forgettable background noise.
All right, moving beyond just pleasantries to actually being memorable. The formula the sources point to is rooted in how our brains work, really. We remember things tied to emotion and engagement.
Okay.
So to be remembered, you need to weave in two key elements, story and curiosity.
Story and curiosity. Okay, that makes sense. Curiosity creates that little gap, that desire to know more, and stories are naturally engaging. They stick in our minds. But how do you tell a story without, like, hijacking the whole conversation and making it all about you?
Great question. You use what you might call a story nugget. Keep it brief, like 30 to 45 seconds max. A short anecdote that connects directly to something they just said.
So relevant and concise.
Exactly. If they mention, say, struggling with meeting a deadline on a project, don't just give generic advice. Maybe share a super quick story about a time you faced a similar crunch and one small thing that helped. It makes you relatable, human, not just someone dispensing opinions.
Turns you from a talking head into a person. Got it. And what about curiosity? How do we use that effectively? It can't just be asking basic factual questions, right? Like, where are you from?
No, it needs to be deeper. Real curiosity means asking questions that prompt reflection, maybe even a bit of creative thinking. Go beyond simple recall.
How? Give me an example.
Instead of say, what projects are you working on right now? Which is fine, but maybe a bit standard. Try asking something more expansive, more future-focused. Like, looking ahead, if you could tackle one big challenge in your field in the next year, what would it be? And why does that specific challenge grab you?
Oh, okay. That invites passion, ideas.
Exactly. It gets them thinking, sharing something meaningful to them. It leaves them feeling stimulated by the conversation itself, not just, mildly entertained. The goal is for them to walk away maybe still pondering the question you asked, not just remembering some fact you told them. #tag outro.
Wow, okay. That was incredibly practical. Lots to chew on there. Let's just do a quick recap for you, the listener. Remember, conversation, it's a power, not some scary performance.
Right.
Ditch that need for perfection. Focus completely on making a genuine connection. Make active listening your secret weapon. Use those little affirmations. Make people feel truly heard to start the chat. Keep it simple. Observe the situation, ask a relevant question, or offer a specific, honest compliment. And don't forget that little bit of magic. Use their name. Keep that body language open and welcoming.
If we zoom out, look at the bigger picture here. The real goal isn't just talking to fill silence or even just getting your own points across. It's about building mutual understanding, real respect in every single interaction.
Yeah.
The fundamental shift, really, is moving away from seeing conversation as just transactional, maybe, and seeing it instead as a chance for genuine human validation for both people.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, listening right now. If you actually apply these ideas, how does shifting your focus Shifting it away from what brilliant thing can I say towards what can I listen and truly validate this other person? How might that change your very next conversation? Whether it's at work or just, out in the world.
Yeah, something to really think about. Maybe just go out there and experiment a little. Try that 60-40 eye contact rule. Or maybe try asking one of those more expansive, curiosity-driven questions next time.
See what happens.
Exactly. You'll probably find that, honestly, the best way to be interesting is just to be genuinely interested.
Couldn't agree more. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.